This is Come Cook With Me. We're making mushroom scones, so we might as well get started on it. We need to preheat the oven to 425. Nice. You did not clean this. Like I said, always check to make sure your rack is in the middle, your shelf is in the middle. Some people call it a rack, other people call it a shelf. All right, let's get going. I hope all of you had a wonderful evening. We need one small onion. We're going to chop this onion up. And it's going to be finely chopped as one small onion, and we need 3 ounces of mushrooms, cleaned and coarsely chopped as well. So we'll get this started. That's my scale. That's my scale. I have mushrooms in it. Putty, yes, I did. And good morning. I fell asleep when it first showed. I saw the Fox News later because I was waiting for it, but I was so exhausted from all the work I did yesterday, I just collapsed. And I woke up and it was over, but they said to re-show it, and I caught it then. Okay, finally chop this. Let me get you down so you can see what I'm doing. Well, like I said, you can have these for breakfast as well. They're excellent with eggs. I'm not gonna lie to you, they really, really are. I like them with scrambled eggs or fried eggs. And if you have sausage, this is great in place of toast and everything else. So 1 small onion, chopped. Do be careful doing this that you don't get carried away, or you'll cut this little finger off. I don't know. If the onions are really fresh, really, really like they just harvest them and stuff, I'm gonna cry. But once they've sat a bit, they're not too bad. I'd like to say glasses do it, but I really don't know. Sometimes I am crying, and other times I'm not. It just depends upon the onion. Okay, we're going to put these in a bowl. Now, if you're going to scrape your vegetables up, make sure this knife is completely flat against here, and you go like this. Because if you leave it up or you leave it like this, you're dulling the blade. So you make sure it's flat, come across, put it on your hand. Hi, James. It depends upon the onion. All right, you need 3 ounces of mushrooms, which is approximately this much to give you an idea. Now, you can use white mushrooms or brown mushrooms. I've already stated this. Remember, this is a cook-along. Come cook with me. So, if you have white mushrooms and you want them instead, they have a milder flavor. This has a more earthy. Uh, I've had this recipe more than once, and I've used both of them, and they go excellent with it. But I happen to want the earthy taste this time around. But it doesn't matter, the white or the brown. So we want 3 ounces, and that's how much you need. And they want these coarsely chopped. Because remember, we're going to cook these mushrooms, so they're going to sit there and let a lot of their juice go. I said good morning, James. So if you're cooking along with me and you're saying, what am I going to use these for? Make scrambled eggs, have sausage or bacon, you're in for a treat. You really are. A lot of people say, I don't like mushrooms, I don't like this, I don't like that. If it's not prepared right, you're not going to like it. Like my mother loved rutabaga, and I hate that. The only way I can really eat it is if I put it with mashed potatoes or something. That's about the only way it gets down my throat. I know it has nutrients that I need, so I eat it. But a woman who cooks, and she cooks the same thing, her family will not be amenable to different foods and stuff. My family is. Okay, we got the mushrooms done. You need 2 tablespoons of butter right now. I'm going to move you over to the stove because we're going to have to go over there. Let's get you there. Let's see if I can get you over here. Hi, Mr. T. AJ, James. I am doing well. This is AJ. I am doing well. Just getting stuff together. I'm going to stick this under your feet. We have to get these vegetables done before we can put the scones together. So that's 2 tablespoons of butter in a frying pan. We'll get it lit. And we're going to melt this butter under medium heat. Talk to my son about that. I'm tired of cleaning the stove when he's done cooking. All right, we're going to melt this over medium heat, and then we're going to start cooking. We've done all the chopping that we're going to do. Unless you're using fresh thyme. I'm going to be using dry thyme on this. So how is everybody this morning? No, I have never tried that, Danny. I wish there was a way you could send these things to me. You mentioned them, but no, I haven't heard of that. Which would be interesting. You know? Oh, Melody, you like cooking on a gas range. I do. Hi, Dixie. Now, you're mentioning some things I haven't tried, and I'm game, for it, as they say. So we're waiting for this over medium heat. I want to move it higher, but I can't. And we'll just wait. Okay, Danny. Hi, Dixie, and good morning to everybody. Never caramelized mushrooms. Listen, I just found a tortilla recipe in one of my cookbooks because somebody had asked me, "Do you make tortillas?" I have to buy a special stuff that I need for it. My flour is not the kind of flour I need. I have to get something else. But I did find a goat stew and like a pie, like a meat pie with goat. I said, oh, I have got to try this. I was going through some cookbooks I got. Have a lot of cookbooks, like I said. Yeah, mushroom gravy's good too. Okay. We're going to be putting the onion in here. Remember, it's a small onion. Am I going to have to beat anything in this? Yeah, probably. I'll use this bowl first. So when Fox News was repeating the State of the Union, I woke up and I saw the rerun of it. Because I couldn't believe I fell straight across the bed. I was waiting. I said, God, I'm getting tired. Please start soon. The next thing I knew, I zonked out. I fell asleep before it came on. Well, good morning, Cher. We're only going to cook these a few minutes. I just want to make sure they don't burn. Oh, everybody's quiet this morning. Is anybody trying to make this recipe? Mushroom scones? People have to decide if they want to follow Jesus, you know. Danny, that's why I'm teaching. This is a cook-along. Oh, let me see. DP, hi, and good morning, Danny, and good morning, Rugans. Now we're going to add the mushrooms. we're going to cook these mushrooms with the onions now. We've got to cook a lot of this moisture out. And then we'll season this up, and then we'll start putting the scones together. Now, the reason they like you to turn the oven on at the beginning, because it takes about 15 minutes. So you can get done and just put it in directly. I love cooking too. So Danny, so you suck at culinary arts? Well, you're in the right place. I have a Come Cook With Me, and this is one of the recipes. The first one was butter biscuits. The second one was that stupid French bread recipe. Drives me insane at times. Sometimes it rises, sometimes it doesn't. It's a very good bread, and it makes excellent breadcrumbs. So we're going to cook the fluid out of these mushrooms. It'll take about 4 minutes. We just want them dry. And then we're going to season them up and then start the scones. So remember, if you just like food, it's usually the way it's been served, or because there was arguing and stuff at the table when it was served to you, or a state of mind of parents arguing and you were eating. Hi, Melody. So we're going to be at this for about 3-4 minutes. We'll dry this out, we'll season it, and we'll just move forward. So we sauteed the onion, and now we're cooking the fluid out of the mushrooms, so they are a bit on the dry side. See how they're coming along very nicely. Brian, you'd have to get to this house right away. Things don't last here. Hi, Brenda. They're coming along beautifully. Oh. If you have fresh thyme, you need a whole teaspoon. Okay, we're turning this off. We're going to take it off the burner. And what you're going to do is add a half a teaspoon of dried thyme, because I don't have a third of a teaspoon. And you're going to, or if it's fresh, they want you to use a whole teaspoon. And mix the thyme in with this. You get a really beautiful flavor. You just stir the thyme in. If you want to smell a treat, this is it. Okay, hold on. AJ. Yes, AJ, it's a gift. You mix that thyme in and smell it. It's a real treat. It is a gift from God. Do accept it. Hi, Shamay. Good morning. Too cool? No, it's not marijuana. Melody? I was hearing something about that. I was. All right, now it's time for us to move over here. We have other things that we have to do now. All right, we're not going to be chopping. We're going to put that to the side because that's going to have to cool for everything that we've got going, okay? Now, I'm going to have to turn you down so you can see some of what I'm doing. Hi, Deborah. Melody. Okay. Yeah, it said on the thing that you could. But Casey said it's the garlic is not for cancer, it's for blood pressure. Okay? For cancer, the ARE states point blank that you need to eat 3 almonds a day, and that will keep cancer away. Yeah, but it's not for cancer, it's for blood pressure. You made a mistake there. I saw the video. Okay, here we go now. In this bowl, we're going to put, well, as much as I make this, you'd think I would remember this recipe. Okay. You want 2 cups of flour in a bowl. All purpose, guys. Pretty cat, please, we're not going there. No, marijuana does not keep cancer away. The American Indians used it for, I think, pain, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong. I don't always remember everything, but I think that's what it's used for. I know a vet's mother grew it because he was in severe pain, and he smoked it for the pain that he's in. I know marijuana does that. Garlic is for blood pressure. I know almonds keep cancer away. Audra. Beets help. Beets are good for you. Okay, we need a 1/2 cup of yellow cornmeal. They like yellow, but if you have white, I won't complain. Okay, but they want a 1/2 cup of cornmeal. I like the yellow because it gives it a nice color. Remember, I'm not going to take everything as a grain of salt. You need a tablespoon of baking powder. Okay. All dramatic. Okay. If that's what you believe. You can study. That's man's interpretation. Why don't you try God's interpretation? Okay? I don't have to go and study dreams. Because that's what they say. Oh, it's just do. There's more to it than that. But they don't know because they don't even believe on the other side. So how could they possibly know what they're doing? You get from a man's point of view, you don't get it from God's point of view. Maybe you should try that. You'd probably say all the prophets then are out to lunch. A teaspoon of salt. Because they don't believe. They don't believe. They'd tear a dream away. If I told them what I saw, they would sit there and say I was probably crazy. Okay, we need sugar. I sat there in the early, let's see, how old was I? 75. It was the early 70s, I think, when the Twin Towers were being built. A tablespoon of sugar. Okay? They weren't even half built. We were at a park. And see, they'd say this is my subconscious or something, but it wasn't. Sat there and I was walking in the park with Tara and my husband. Well, I should say future husband at that time. And I told him, he saw me look, and we could just see, we were in Brooklyn, and we could just about see where the Twin Towers were starting to come right over the horizon. And I was looking, and all of a sudden I stopped, and I just stared at it. And hold on a minute. I need to add, all right, I need to get black pepper. Hold on. And I turned to him, and this is what I told him point blank. It'll be a clear day. There might be 2 clouds. And in a twinkling of an eye, the Twin Towers are going to be no more. They're going to fall. And my husband said, when will this happen? My future husband said, when will that happen? I said, when I'm going home. When I'm going home. And our closing day was the day the Twin Towers went down. I was so panicky about that Twin Tower that I sat there and I told my husband, I have to go to the FBI. I want to save the lives of the people that are going to be in that building. A lot of people are going to die. And my husband couldn't understand. We were in an apartment at that time. And he said, Sandy, it's going to be all right. I said, no, it's not going to be all right. Then I started having dreams, and I would wake up gagging. I couldn't breathe. I had dreams of falling. I had a dream of fire and smoke, and this went on for a whole week. And I was telling my husband, I have to get to the FBI. I have to get to the FBI. He said, Sandy, I said, no, I got to tell the FBI. They can stop this. Somebody's attacking the country. This is in the 70s, you know? So he took me to the FBI. And I talked with the guy, the agent. They actually did a report. And I sat there and I told him what I saw. And I said, these people are going to die. We're going to be attacked. He said, do you know who's going to attack? I said, no. If I described the day, I said it was going to be a clear day. The sky is going to be so blue. But you're going to see these really white clouds, just like a couple of them. And the Twin Towers are going to come down in a twinkling of an eye. And a lot of people are going to die. And he listened. I told him all the dreams. I told him everything that I saw and everything else. And what happened was is he listened to me. Then he went to make a copy. And he said, when will this happen? I said, when I'm going home. He said, well, when are you going home? I said, I'm not going home yet. And when I said home, I meant my husband would buy a home, not an apartment. Put the pepper in and mix it up with everything else. I forgot to add the pepper. And I saw it. I saw it before it happened. I heard the screams of the people before they died. And I said, get the people out of the Twin Tower. It's coming down. I kept screaming, and everybody thought I was crazy. And I was telling people, don't go to the Twin Towers. Don't go to the Twin Towers. I told my husband, Tony, stay a good 20 blocks away from the Twin Towers. He said, Sandy, you're getting crazy. I said, no, I'm not getting crazy. Get away from the Twin Towers. Get away from the Twin Towers. And he couldn't believe I was really at the point where I was losing it, I guess, in his book. All right, we need now a measuring cup. Oh, these are all clean. I don't have to wash these. They're going to pour in a half a cup of cream with 1 egg. Okay. We're going to mix that up in a measuring cup. So I call them gifts from God. I've also seen a bridge fall too, and I hear the people screaming. And what bothers me in the whole dream is I hear the screams and screams, but it's the dead silence afterwards. That scares the tar out of me. I think I know what bridge it is, but I'm not going to say anything, but I know it's coming. But to hear the people scream was really the sad part. But that dead silence after you hear all the metal and the screams, and I saw a train going over, and the people were falling, and I saw it, and it really drove me crazy. My husband said, "What train is it?" And I said, "When I look out." Let's see, I was facing, the train was going towards my right because I was in the spirit watching this. So the train was going that way. And I told him, I told him. No, that hasn't happened yet. All right, so I'm beating half a cup of heavy cream, okay? So I can tell you this much. People see when death is coming. People who have the sight will see it. Okay, put that to the side. We're back here again. Now you know this lovely onion and everything. Let's see. Oh, we have to do the butter first. Sorry. All right, we need how many? We need 4 tablespoons of butter. We've got to grater it into here. Now, if you have soft butter, you can use the pastry cutter or something. Mine's a little on the frozen side, so I'm going to have to grater mine. And I've had this gift all my life, so they're gifts from God. Oh, don't think it's handed to you. Remember, not everybody wants eternal life. Sosa, good morning. You have to be careful of that finger from yesterday. Now we'll finish the pie up, if you know about the pie, this afternoon. Now if you have soft butter, you have a pastry cutter, cut it in. If you don't have a pastry cutter, you sit there and use 2 knives and cut it in. Now I'm coating it with the flour here, so it'll be suspended throughout all of it now that I did that. Now we're going to stir in the mushroom mixture, the onions, mushroom, and the thyme. I'm going to use a fork because you don't want it to be lumpy. You want it well blended. Make sure it's well coated, because if it's not, it'll sink to the bottom, and you want it suspended throughout. anything on this. All right, your egg and heavy cream mixture you're going to pour into the center. You make a well and put it in there. Just like biscuits. Sort of toss it in muffins, toss it around, and it'll mix up. See, everybody sits there and says, we'll have eternal life. Not everybody. Because a lot of people don't want to believe in God and aren't going to stay with Him. And when times get hard, they'll leave Him like a drop of a pin. And there's some that are so defiant, they don't believe in God, never will, and they're not going to get into heaven because God's not going to let them in because they don't want in. The door is open, but they don't want to come in because they have to answer to Him. See, it's like a rebellious child. That's what we are. We don't listen to the rules. God gives us a few rules, and do we listen? No, we're too stupid. I have to say that. We get stupid. We want to try things. A little bit of flour. Let's just pray my Band-Aid doesn't come off while I'm doing this. I really don't want to do that, but they want me to put it there. I usually do it in the bowl. Come on, butter, you're going to have to melt because I've got to get you into a ball. Now they want you to knead this until you get a nice smooth ball. This is not a political place. We talk about how I was raised. Don't tell me you know me, William. You wouldn't know a racist if it came up and bit you. Racists have a very unique smell. Yeah, your emotions smell, believe it or not. So you can't hide it. And you're going to say, you can't smell racism. Yes, you can, because you push out hormones. Just like anger, you can smell it. It's in the air. Good morning from California. Dreaming. Oh, you took it from the song. Hi, Melody. Okay, so we're kneading this. We're going to get it into a nice little ball. And it's coming together, don't worry. As you handle it, you melt the butter and stuff, so you don't have to worry. Okay. I gotta clean this for what we're gonna do next. So please remember, this is a cooking channel, learning how to cook. This part today is come cook with me. Now, if you didn't want cube steaks, this goes excellent with chicken, if you wish, or whatever else you want to do. Okay, you need a cookie sheet at this point, or a baking sheet. Now you're going to take this and you're going to flatten it out to an 8-inch circle. For those of you who don't know your fractions, this works quite well explaining fractions. So you're just going to pat it out to an 8-inch circle. Now, if you have trouble getting a circle, use one hand arched, and it'll keep the cracks and stuff from spreading. Melody, you're fine. What? Cruel? Listen, they come by too fast and I can't catch them all. Sometimes a lot of you start talking at once and they fly by and I can't catch them. You're very welcome, Melody. No, I don't have any yams. Chorizo. Okay, that's about an 8-inch. I'm leveling it off now. All right, that's an 8-inch circle. Now, you can use a sharp knife, a corrugated knife if you want. One thing you're going to have to do is flour it. Thank you, Jimmy. All right, get some flour on it. All right, we have the whole here. This is for people who have trouble with the fractions. Now we're going to take this whole. It's usually 1/1 or a solid 1. We're going to cut it in half just like this. Okay, now we've changed 1/1 to 1/2, which means half. You want to understand your fractions? We're going to do fractions, okay? Now we're going to take this and we're going to cut the halves in half. Now we've changed that 1/2 to 1/4. Okay? It's still a whole, but you notice the bottom number is changing? That tells you how many pieces to make a whole, or how much you're going to take out of it, all right? So now we're going to take it. I have to make 2 swipes on this one. Okay, well, that was a mushroom, okay. All right, now we have 8s. Each one of these is 1/8. But if you have 8/8, 8 pieces makes a whole. So 8/8 is a whole. You see how you divide fractions up? Now, we're going to leave it just like this, and we're going to stick this in the oven. And we're going to bake them for about 16 minutes. Okay, that'll be 6:19, okay? That's how you make scones. Now we have to wait. Nothing else we can do. But if you have a mess, you can start cleaning it up. Some people call people names, and it's stupid. So now you know how to make scones. I walked you through it. I don't know if any of you cooked with me this morning on the scones. I asked you, did anybody, but nobody's answering, so I guess no. Hi, Swap. What a name. Okay, the names you come up with. Like I said, this is very easy. It's something you can have for breakfast. They are so full of flavor, you don't have to add anything to them. Okay, onions. I am very fine. I'm doing well. Okay, let's see. Start putting stuff up while we're waiting for... I'm doing well. How are you doing, Swap? And thank you, Jimmy. It would be in the T's. QRST, but it's not there. Cream. Okay, you got misplaced. Ah! I knew I had it. It's in the wrong place. You must have went, I was looking for cream of tartar. You're probably wondering what I'm doing. I have to make some baking powder. I'm running out. What? Oh, Italy? Swamp? Hi, Nathan? Nathan? Natalie? You need one advice? I don't have one advice. I'm sorry, it'd be a lot more than one. You're wondering what I'm doing. I'm getting ready to make some baking powder. Young people, that's very hard to give somebody advice. what advice. It's got to be more than one. It's a lot. There's a lot in raising children. I guess if you had to give the advice, I would have to take from the Bible at this point and say, love thy God with all thy heart and with all thy might, and thy neighbor as thyself. And that would pretty much put everything in the right direction. As much as I make, you would think I would remember this recipe. I never do. Baking soda and cornstarch are equal amounts. All right. Hi, Tim. Nathan. Words to live by? I just told you. To love thy God with all thy heart and with all thy might, and thy neighbor as well as yourself like that. When you love that much, you're not going to hurt anybody, and you'll have a heart to forgive. We all need forgiveness. Okay, let's see. Maybe I should use that tablespoon so I can count. Let's see how much cream of tartar I have. See, if you love yourself, if you love God, well, let's start with self. If you love yourself and you love neighbors the way, love people the way you love yourself. I need a smaller. You wouldn't say harsh words at people. You would help. You'd be kind. But people don't love themselves. So God knows that. So he was really smart when he said, you know, love thy God and then love thy neighbor as thyself. Well, you can see we don't love each other, do we? So there. I'll go to the Bible because that's the best way. Oh, no, I'm not going to get this done in time. Okay. Now you can watch me bake baking powder. This is cream of tartar. All right, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we'll put 6 in there. 6 tablespoons of cream of tartar. And 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. I'm gonna have to sift some of this so I can keep on them. All right. Need 3 tablespoons of baking soda. This is a little messy, as you can see. Three. All right. The reason you sift it is to get rid of all the lumps. And that's how you make baking powder. Baking powder without any preservatives in it. Isn't that neat? In Rhode Island, oh yeah, that's a lot. Now you know how to make baking powder. Isn't that easy? Okay, scones are done and I'm in the middle of making this. Going back to the scones. Stab yourself, Sandra. You've done that too. Oh yeah, you can get reckless in the kitchen. This is why you have clean areas. You can kill yourself in the kitchen. Okay, rat. Here they are. That's mushroom scones, and that's how we make them. It was very easy. It's not that difficult. Do let it cool. These really do have to cool. Not lying. That's hot. That's 425, Sandra. I didn't make too much. If I made too much, I'll just get another jar and put it in. So see, you can make a lot of stuff yourself if you just take a few minutes. This is why I don't use baking soda. There's no preservative to stop it, you see. Baking powder. Yeah, they are. But now you know how to make baking powder. Because it's made with baking soda and there's no retard in it. To retard it, when you use that, you have to minus all of your baking soda out of your recipes. Now, if you buy it from the store, they put that retarded to actually stop it from rising until it gets into the oven. That's what they're doing. So if you don't want to use that with the chemicals, and remember, a lot of the diseases we're getting today, we did not have. So you have to think. Hey, Trent, Nikki, good morning, both of you. Natalie, good morning. Nikki, good morning. All right. Now you can't separate these. These things have to cool. But I am going to slide it off here and let it cool underneath, because if you leave it in the pan, on the pan like this, you will notice that it continues cooking, and then if it stays hot too long, okay, I'll let them cool a bit and we'll try them. Of course, I already know how they're going to taste. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Disney. I didn't have any of that problem with the flickering lights or anything. Of course, I have windows all around this house, so I have sunlight coming in all the time, so I don't really have to use it till nighttime. Soon. Okay. If you wish, soon, if that's how you wish to talk. So we're just waiting a few minutes and then we'll try one of these. Oh, I already know how good they are because I've had them. But since I haven't had breakfast, I guess a scone will be for breakfast, but I'm going to take one of the smaller ones. We just have to wait a bit. So you got 2 recipes today, and I still have to make cube steaks. I don't know how I'm going to do them yet. Still thinking about that. What seasonings do you guys like to put on your cube steaks? I'll let you try. So I'll give you time. Let's see if you can come up with something. Now remember, you don't have to cook cube steaks all the way if you like your steaks a little medium rare, because they are steaks. That's why you can get away with it. I'm going to give you guys time to come up with something. Oh yeah, all right, Natalie. What herbs are you thinking of? I'm going to allow you to put it out and we'll see what we come up with. Don't stay conservative. Think of something that would be so different and we'll see if it comes out. Soon, I am not putting mustard. I don't. What kind of mustard would you put on it? Good morning, Judy, Nikki, Sue. FWE? I don't know what FW. No, I'm not kidding. What kind of mustard would you like to mix with it? That would give it sort of a tang. So I know it's nobody's answering, and I asked you to help. I think a brown mustard, if we're going to do it, brown mustard would be spicy. That would give a spice to the steak. See? When people get together, I'm showing you that we can get together and we can come up with ideas. You know, you just don't need one person. If you have ideas, let's see. Don't be so afraid that you can't move, you know. I mean, I'm going to make cantaloupe. I wish I had more cantaloupes that I could have canned. But I made cantaloupe butter, and I'm thinking about taking that cantaloupe butter with apricots and make muffins. Yeah. Natalie, provincial herbs, I have those. Provincial herbs, I'll have to get them out. With mustard, but why not? Why wouldn't you want to use a hot mustard? Because it's got a bite to it like a pepper, and people like pepper on their steaks. You see? Let's see if I can find my provincial herbs in a bag. I've got so many herbs, I can't even fit them in here anymore. I had to put them in a bag. Okay. It should be in here somewhere. I have so many herbs, you would not believe how many I have. All right. So I have these, okay. So you don't like the heat, and that's why you think of a regular mustard, because we also have honey mustard, Dijon mustard. I have brown mustard. The reason I would think of more of the brown, because I want that spice of the black pepper, And I know those are more spicy. But we're going to use the discard because the discard sticks. Yeah, you see how you start going in that direction? So I'm going to use my discard, but for you who don't have a discard, you could sit there and use, in place of it, yogurt. Hi, Ziggy, and good morning, and thank you. Let me put this up. So instead of using egg or milk, why not try sour cream? Has a sourness that would go in place of the sourdough culture I have here. Oh, I need the mustard. Let's see, do I have any open mustard? Apple rhubarb chutney. Oh, God. You have the stuff I had in this refrigerator. Lemon juice. Lemon juice. Do I have mustard? I've got lemon juice there. I'm looking for my mustard. I'll be right there as soon as I can find it in this mess. Dijon. Dijon mustard, okay? Okay. I'll use. Okay. See, I told you, children, we do some stupid things. Oh my goodness. Okay, I have Dijon mustard in the refrigerator, so I'm going to use Dijon mustard, not the yellow one. And we'll see how it comes out, okay? With this. That'll be a new combination, and you can actually claim you had a hand in it. I'm just going to execute it. How's that? All right, so that's about a tablespoon that we're putting in of mustard, Dijon mustard. And look, because I'm using my discard, I have to go a little heavy. So this is going to be a most unusual combination. Okay. If you're using sour cream or buttermilk or yogurt, they're going to have a sour taste. You might go a little more heavy on your seasonings to bring that flavor out, okay? All right. I've got about a tablespoon of the herbs of de Provence. Tablespoon. I think I'm going to put 2 tablespoons in because I know my discard is strong in flavor because it's an old one. Good morning, Leslie. All right. So we're going to stir this together. So, I mean, if we're going to cook, I mean, if I'm in the kitchen and you got some ideas, I mean, let's play with them. And then you get comfortable with doing it. You know, remember, not everything you're going to try comes out. Learn from your mistakes, you know. God, that's an unusual smell. Okay, well, anyway, we'll find out one way or not. It sort of has a, you can almost, I'm trying to tell you what it smells like to give you an idea. I can't think of a smell that I could make this, but it's going to be different. So, here we go. So you can join if you have an idea, and I ask you, I mean, throw it out. We'll see what we can come up with. Then you could say, if it comes out good, you can actually sit there and say, that was my idea. So see, you know. So don't be afraid. Yes, Leslie. But we're going to see how they come together. We're going to find out one way or another. Because mustard has vinegar in it, all mustards do, I should know because I can mustard. The vinegar is a tenderizer, so it might work, you see? So when you know a few things like that, it changes it around. I'm just coating them, and you can see this card holds very well, so try sour cream or buttermilk. You might find that it works better, even yogurt. And sit there and say, hey, this holds better than milk or egg. And it gives a slight tartness to it. But I have discard, and I've been using my discard like crazy. And I said, oh, I love this idea. This works better than anything else. Now, before we start, I'm going to let that sit a bit, and I'm going to try the smallest scone there. And I'll let you know. Of course, I know how good they taste, but I'll let you know anyway. I'm going to take the smallest one. That'll be my breakfast this morning. Okay? Okay. You can see how nice they came out? They're good. Try not to cut them. I had to cut mine. If you cut them, you'll smash it and it'll look like it's raw. It's better to break it apart and you can see then it's not. I have to sift my flour because I've got a lot of particles in it. Do not ask me what flour I'm using because I've got so many different ones. I just sort of mix them all up and just keep on collecting them. And this way I don't have to waste, which is a good thing. See, these are the particles I want out. See, women couldn't afford at one time to waste anything. So they had to make everything work. But there's a lot of waste. If you have a place where you could bury it in the yard, if it's vegetable peelings and stuff like that, you'll feed the ground. Good morning, Tina. Nathaniel? I need a frying pan. Let's see, what are we going to fry it up in? Fry it up in butter and my all blend. Let me get it. Boy, this Band-Aid is coming off my finger from yesterday. I'm going to add some butter as well to the oil. It is a nice combination. I think with the French herbs and that mustard, it's going to be an unusual flavor. Hi. I'm sorry, I have to figure out. I just say the first part. Yeah. Have a blessed day, Leslie. Don't be late for work. Okay? But don't worry, there'll be a video for you. I'm going to put in about 2-3 tablespoons of butter into this for the flavor to go with the my olive blend. And we'll start these steaks up. I'm going to get that on the plate. I need the rack, so I'm getting the scones off. I have extra racks, I just don't have room for everything. So. All right, you're going to see me coat them here. Then we'll get the flame on. See how that discard holds? I think yogurt would hold well too. But I always have discard. Press in on these cube steaks in the flour. And we will be flouring them twice. If you don't have vegetables, think about sometimes trying to serve fruit with a dinner. I mean, you don't always have to have vegetables. You don't always have to have one thing. A lot of people, I notice, are careful how they only add vegetables to it. You can add salads. You can make fruit salads if you want. I got one more I have to do, but I don't have room for it on this rack. We're going to light up that oil and butter. Where's my washcloth? Dish cloth. I think I want pickled beets with these today. And maybe parsnips is a vegetable as well. So I think beets and parsnip will give a beautiful color with the scones and this as well. So let's get this going. I'll bring you over, just give me a minute. Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Tina. Okay, we're getting the butter ready. Now remember, I've already coated these bits once. I'm going to coat them a second time. You'll see as they sit, you can see the fluid coming through. You want to give it a second coat. So if you can't have filet mignon or a T-bone steak, these are just as nice to have. So many dirty dishes. I'm going to be at it forever. Okay, that's... Okay. Now you're going to have to put enough oil in this to make sure that they sort of float or the coating comes off of them, which a lot of people have problems with. Even I, sometimes it does it. You know, I don't like it doing that. But it's something that does happen. So I use extra oil and butter. And the French were the ones that got this butter and oil idea down. And it gives a nice flavor to your meat. Do a second coating if you're cooking with me this morning, because I told you what I was having. And I was showing you how you could make your own scones. And I have a lot of scone recipes as well. Sweet and vegetable ones like this. You'll notice when you press them down the second time, the flour is thicker for them. But let them sit a few minutes before you put that second coat on, and you can see how it responds accordingly. This has a very unusual smell with a tablespoon of mustard in it. But I know mustard's made with vinegar and wine. So it's actually adding wine and vinegar to these. And we'll see how they come out. This Band-Aid's off my finger. Let's pray I don't have to get another one on it. Now that popping you hear is the water in the butter that they're supposed to get rid of, okay? What? Good morning, Paul. Shoot. Lace, good morning. Jules. Lace, good morning. Jacob, good morning. Thank you for the flower, Natalie. I didn't see it, but thank you. It said you sent one. Thank you very much. Shoot, don't you dare bleed. Cynthia, Range, Jacob, Madison. Good morning, everybody. We made mushroom scones. I had let everybody know that I was making it. It was a cook-along. So we made the scones. These are cube steaks we're having. We seasoned them with different seasonings. We're going to see how they come out. Not that we had enough snow, but it's snowing again. So that means I'm going to be out there shoveling again today. Okay, sweet. Yes. We're having fried tube steaks today. This one's huge. I know it's going to shrink down. I know it'll get down in there in a bit. I can't see the birds because it's snowing right now. So I am not happy about this. Okay. He's back up there. It wants to stick, I can feel it. When it wants to stick, move it a lot. It's sticking. Tonk, Jay, water, Cynthia. I didn't think about making gravy, but if I want to make gravy, I can make a simple gravy and pour over. It's no problem. With the oil and the butter, I'll have a very unique gravy. If you want a simple gravy, we'll just add salt and pepper to it, and that's it. But the one thing I will do is I will use whole wheat flour. So my gravy will be darker. You want a milk gravy or water or a stock gravy? Since some of you are actually having a hand in this. I mean, you pick the seasoning, so what seasonings would you like? Sure, Larry. Hey, good morning, Jethro. So, Cynthia, what kind of gravy do you want? Do you want a milk gravy? Water gravy? I wouldn't recommend water, a stock gravy. What kind of gravy do you want? Because remember, we're just going to add salt and pepper. Michael, there's no such thing as an original gravy. There's 3 basic gravy, really 2, just water or milk. Let me get the flour out. Let's see what I have and I can pull off. I emptied my spots out of the refrigerator. Okay. Basi, Tina. Okay, we'll have a milk gravy. No problem. You like extra pepper to make your gravy hot, spicy? Because I have red peppers, black peppers, and if you dare stick. Okay. I'm going to have to pour this off because I've got too much here. Hold on a minute. Okay, that'll make a little gravy. I haven't made gravy in so long. You guys are making me think. We have to cook this flour, you know that. Or it's going to have a raw taste to it, and because I'm using whole wheat, I'm going to wait till I can taste the, like a toasted smell to it, and then we'll add milk to it. Usually with milk gravies, I add powdered milk to it, but I don't have time for that this morning. Maybe after I add the milk to it, I'll see if I can get the powdered milk into it. So you're going to tell me you guys have gravy all the time when you have steak? Well, the reason I add powdered milk to most things, I add extra protein. I have a lot of this left. Now remember, we're not having biscuits with this, we're having scones. So do you want extra pepper? Plenty of black pepper. I figured somebody from Texas would say that. They like lots of black pepper in their gravies. Now, we're at a consistency that you can decide if you like it or not, or you can make it thinner than what it is. But this is when you turn it down because milk scorches easily. And I have to get salt and pepper in here. Now, a whisk will break all the pieces up on the bottom. So you have those little pieces in it. So I might as well pour this gravy over the steak and have it like that this time. Okay, I've got to work grinding some pepper up. I'm getting some powdered milk in here. Now this is powdered milk, and the reason I add it is I'm always adding extra protein, B vitamins and stuff. It doesn't interfere with the flavor, but what it does is it does pick up on your protein count, which your body needs. And when you have enough protein, you have more energy. Just a couple of tablespoons can make a big difference in the flavor and the protein count to make sure that everybody gets enough for their bodies. And when you get a lot of protein in the food, you'll notice they don't eat as much because they get what they need. Once the body has what it needs, it doesn't have to eat a ton of food. People don't think about that. Black pepper to get the grinder up. Bet you didn't think I could make gravy. Now, if you like a lot of pepper, you could get green peppercorns. They're hotter than the black ones. Good morning, everyone. Snoopy, Chic, Snap, Natalie, Snoop, Waste. Good morning, Snap. 75, you beat me, Michael, by 2 years. You know, we still have the vegetables we have to get together. Well, the pickled beets are already canned, so I don't even have to worry about that. That's an unusual flavor. We have some of the flavor of the meat. And the peppercorns are definitely making the gravy spicy. Plus we have the mustard, which had vinegar in it. So we've got like double spice here. Yes, Wasteland, go back a little bit. I think last week I made butter biscuit. It was come cook with me. When I do the come cook with me, it's usually I go more in depth of what I'm doing and explain more of what's going on. I give you the things that you need so we can make it. Well, these are going to be a little on the spicy side. All right. All right. Taught me to cook. Oh, yeah. Lee, that's my middle name. I grew up in Texas. When I came up here, our boys were sounding because I was doing all the talking. When they were born, Grandpa, Tony's father, heard it and he said, "Do you hear that?" And he said, "Yes, I'll get on it right away." Grandpa was very upset because he was English and the boys sounded just like they were from Texas. So I had to spend my nights with my husband learning how to speak without such a heavy accent. Because people came up and said, "Oh, you're from Texas." The boys were born up here, and Grandpa did not like that. I'm just saying, you're going to pour that over the steaks now, so when I serve the steaks, they'll already be coated with gravy. And I think with that mustard that we put in, is going to give it a bite with the black pepper, because I can already taste it. And remember, I use the butter and oil for the gravy, so I can taste the beef already. There's a bite to it. There's the steaks with the gravy. Okay. Now I have parsnips I have to make. So I was raised in Texas, so I do have a Texas accent. But once I came up here and our sons started talking, Grandpa, Tony's father, got very upset. He said, "I will not have it." So I had to go and learn how to speak better. There are some words that the accent still comes out on, but not a lot. So that's why I lost it. Yeah. Wasteland, yeah, I know what you knew. Hi, Anthony. Christina. Anthony. I was raised in Beeville, Texas. You find Houston, San Antonio, and Corpus. Draw 3 lines together, go a little southeast, and Beeville's right there. Chase Field used to be out. That's a naval base. They closed it down, but the Bush family used to hunt there. They have a lot of cattle on the King Ranch there. And their ranch ran all into Mexico, but now that they've cut across he put the wall up, I'm sure it's not that way anymore. But they had a very big ranch. I don't know how big it is now because they cut across there because of the illegals. But we also have the Dowdy Ranch there. If you can find the Dowdy Ranch, they were in competition, raising cattle. I don't know if it's that way anymore, but I know Beeville's all built up now. I also know they have a very bad drug problem down there being so close to the border, but if the border's closed, that might clean that area up. No. Houston, we used to drive to, I'm not in Texas anymore. I'm in New York State. My husband brought me up here. Um, Beeville is more in the south center. Yeah, we're about 200 miles from Houston. Took a couple hours to get to Houston. Of course, we drive pretty fast. My son saw a video that said 85, 75 at night. Is that true, Mommy? I said, yeah, that's true. That's Texas. You want to get where you're going. You don't play around going 30 or 50 miles an hour. You got to hit the road. But always pull over for those 18-wheelers because they're hauling. They used to haul, I don't know if they still do. They hauled a lot of cattle and they had to get to the market. I don't even know if they have the auction house right out of town anymore in Beeville. Probably not all built up, you know. But the team for Thomas Jefferson High School and junior high school, the high school team was the Trojans. I don't know if the Trojans still go. If that's the team for the high school, I don't know. I don't know if they still have bonfires and stuff, you know, before the big game. I don't know. I don't even know if they still have Whataburger. The real name of it is called Whataburger, but we used to say Whataburger. I think when you have faith in Christ, you can't really go and do evil, you know. I could be wrong. People probably, in the name of God and Jesus, the church used it to wage war on a lot of people. And countries have done that too. They say in the name of. You know, if the devil really wanted, he might pull this stunt. Yeah, he'd be wicked enough to do this. Think about if the devil wanted people to believe something. Now it states that in prophecy and stuff. Oh, I want to bring something to your attention. During World War II, the President of the United States had meetings with a very special person. Edgar Casey gave him readings to help win the war in World War II. You might not have known that. Casey gave readings to the president to help end World War II, and he also told him, do not do certain things. And the president did. One of the rulings Casey said in a reading that came from a reading for the president, he told the president, do not give that which is not yours to give away. And he did. In order to get help to end the war, he gave the Eastern Bloc to Russia. And yet, the reading said, do not do that or you will have to pay for it later. So sometimes trying to make peace. But The ARE comes from Edgar Casey's readings. So if the devil wanted to do something, now it talks about that Christ and God will show his face in the heavens. Now there's a very good chance, I'm not saying it's going to happen, I don't know, just an idea. What better way than to him, the devil, give an illusion in the heavens and then say, I'm coming down to earth. Oh yeah, people would fall for it and believe that he's the Christ when he's not. You can always tell if you've got a good religion. We have somebody who says to kill and stuff like that. You have to question their religion. If it's blood sacrifice, that's not it. Christ didn't talk like that. And God says to love. So if you listen to everything that God says, it definitely states to a point. I know it's a cooking channel, but I'm just talking. It would seem that anybody who says other than preach love and stuff, there's a problem. This is parsnips. It's a root vegetable. How do they taste raw? Pretty bland. Not much to it. It's a bland vegetable. It's a mild one. My mother didn't like parsnips, but we never had them. I'm just putting a little bit of water in here. Put the lid on, bring it to a boil. That's it, no salt. Because water would be mild, we could use that. If I had cooked these first, I would have taken the water out and used it for the gravy. I didn't know you guys wanted gravy. Do you know you're actually deciding this meal, except for the mushroom scones? You actually had a hand. And we're trying something new. We're trying mustard on cube steaks. They seem a little spicy, so that'll be unusual. So we'll cook that, and that's it till this afternoon. I'm going to try to make this pie, and we'll see how it comes out. If it doesn't come out well, that'd be a big mess. If I add salt waste, what happens is I can't use the water for a stock. So I can add the salt after it's cooked and I take it out. And that way I can use the water for stock. Because if you keep on adding salt to the water that you cook the vegetables in, and then you sit there and store it and you use it to cook, you're going to have so much salt in your food. It's ridiculous. So I do it like this. So this way I control my salt intake. I told you, the devil was here. He was called Morning Star. He was here before we were. Remember, woman was the last, man was second to last, but everything else was already created before we got here. And we've been destroyed. destroying the earth ever since. And God says he's going to torch this earth. And he said the temperature will be the temperatures of you get in an oven. The lowest temperature on my oven, I think, is 115 or 105. And we're starting to hit numbers like that in the summer. Thank you, Waste. Lee, you're right. We're not. He was here before. He knows all the tricks and everything. And by the way, he was Morning Star. What happened is he refused to answer to us, to help us. He said, no, I am an archangel. I am not. But yet that's what he was supposed to do. The angels were supposed to help us and guide us and stuff. And he didn't like that. Pin apple pie. Pin pineapple pie. Pin. Okay. Okay, this has got to go in the trash. I'm not going to save this. Let's save the flour. People will probably say this is a new way of cooking, but it's a nutritious way to get as much as you can into your body that your body needs so you can stay healthy. Being sick, and you can ask anybody, being sick is no fun. Ask any mother who has a small child who's sick. It's no fun. People told me that when your children, they said, wait till they teeth. They will scream and cry and carry on and all. Mine didn't. They just stuck everything in their mouth. And I was nursing. They were biting me. They just loved the flesh. So I gave them everything to eat. You want to chew? I'll give you something to chew on, but not on me. That hurt too much. But anyway, I said, no, I don't want that. I don't want those kind of children. Raising children is no piece of cake. You don't need any added problems. So if you can prevent it or make it easier, I say go for it. If you want to enjoy your retirement and not be looking at medication every time you turn around, eat healthy. I got a sink full of dishes, believe it or not. Thank you for the floating heart. I missed that one too. I'm missing all these things because I'm cooking. Well, Waste, you have your hands full. It sounds like a gene or something. A malfunction in the gene or missing in the gene if you've got 3 of them. Now once this comes to a boil, turn it down to simmer. Let that steam cook them. It takes a little longer, but you don't throw all the nutrients out, which is important. That's what we're trying to do. This is the squash for the pie this afternoon. Snowing. Man. Father, really? I was hoping for rain so it would wash it away. No, I'm not making a cake. If I ever come to that point and decide to put that, thank you for the heart, Natalie. I saw it zip past real fast, but I caught it. I might do another level and sit there and let somebody sit there and ask me to make something. I don't know yet because we're in different countries. Some dishes that you might ask, I don't know, so I wouldn't be able to make them. So I'm thinking about that, but I don't know yet. Thank you, Jay. Phil, I make cakes. If I'm going to make cakes, I make them in the spring. I have more fruit and more stuff like that. And because cakes are really high in sugar, I have to change them to where they're more nutritious so it helps people. But I'm not making a cake today. No way. Because I'm going to be out there shoveling again. I'm going to be too tired. I was thinking about making a potato bread, but that's not going to work right now. Not with shoveling. I can't do it. But I do have to make biscuit mix. Yes, I know how to do that. So, thank you, Jay and Natalie, for the gifts. Biscuit mix. I don't buy it. I make it. If you want to know how to make biscuit mix, I'll be making that if I'm not tired from shoveling again. I will sit there and we will make biscuit mix. I like the light whole wheat one that I created. 100% whole wheat is too heavy, but I have some calzones that I want to make that are made with biscuit mix, and I read the ones in the store. I don't like them and the stuff that's in them. This is where I read these packages. I should do a video. I spend about an hour in the store. I could walk through the store and said, read this, you see what's here, but the store would get upset with me, so I can't do that. They get very, very upset with me. So I can't do any of that. But I'd like to walk you with me through the store and just show you. But like I said yesterday, if you buy fresh vegetables and fruits in the meat department before you buy all the instant stuff, and you can save a lot of money and your health. But there's a side problem that most women don't want to do is cook, and that's the problem. They rather go out to eat. They rather sit there and order it or get quick biscuits. I see these recipes. I see what they do. They give you a recipe. They say you have your dry ingredients here. They tell you what's in it, but they don't give you the ratios. Then they say the liquid, you pour it here, put it in the oven. They don't tell you the time or how long it cooks. Then they pull it out. And then they say they leave it out. So if you want this recipe, you have to pay them for it. Thank you for the flour, Olivia. That's the first one I caught, so I'm very happy I caught that one. The other ones got past me. And I saw one go real quick. And I caught part of that. So this is how they do it. But I figured that's not helping you. That's not helping you at all. It's not explaining why we have to do what we do or anything else in the kitchen, and it doesn't. Natalie, yeah. I'm going to check these. Okay, they are done. Whoa, they're hot. Everything is hot. Okay, let's see. You do not believe how many dishes are around. You have no idea how many dishes I have sitting around. See, these are a beautiful color. You almost think they're potatoes, but they're not. Parsnip roots. Okay. A jar. No, I don't want those jars. Which jars do I want? Now the salt is added. You see? And I already have salt in the scones because I did it, and I added salt to the gravy. So see, salt gets in there, but people put too much in there. All right, I need metal in here. Most of you who don't know this, if you want to keep a jar from cracking, you have to put a metal spoon or a fork or something into it. And this is the fluid that I have. I'm straining it because there's particles of food in it, and that's not what I wanted. I'm going to use it as a stop. See? And that's all that's left. That's how you do it and collect it. Don't put it in the refrigerator till it cools because it will crack. But that's it. Nothing else. Will I use this oil again that I cooked it in? No. I will be throwing it out. Yes, I do make chili. Make a big pot of it. We had parsnip roots. We have gravy over cube steaks. And we made, which I said, come cook with me, the mushroom scones to show you how to make them, okay? Thank you for the flour, Eleanor. Well, okay, so listen, I'm going to let all of you go now. We've been at this for a little over 2 hours cooking. Don't you think that's long enough? Okay, so listen, enjoy your day. Yeah, I gotta show. I don't know if it snowed where you're at, but it just snowed again, so I'm going to have to go out there and shovel. But anyway, you take care and enjoy your day to the fullest.